Come to Prince Shorthand House. Exercise number 81 and 82. Sir Kailash Chandra. 160 words a minute. Total 1680 words. Be ready. Start. Mid-term elections were held in Kerala, as the House knows, on the 4th March 2005, because we did not want that the President's rule should continue further and that a democratic setup with the state legislature should be there in Kerala, so that the people of Kerala themselves can again have their own legislature. As the House knows, according to the results announced, no party secured an absolute majority by itself and no party was in a position to form a government. Out of 133, the party which had the majority votes was the Left Communist, numbering 40. The next party having the greatest number was Congress with 36. The third was Kerala Congress with 23. Now, out of total number of 133, the Left Communist had only 40 seats, out of whom 29 were at that time under detention. We therefore explored all avenues likely to lead to the formation of a stable government. The governor had been in touch with the various party leaders. From March 8 to March 16, he held detailed consultation with the leaders of the Communist Party, the Indian National Congress, the Kerala Congress, the SSP and the Muslim League. The governor did not seek the views of the Right Communist Party of India, as they had secured only 3 seats out of a total of 133. The position that emerged from these consultations briefly was that although it was possible for him to negotiate with the various groups and individual legislators and evolve the basis on which a non-Congress government could be formed, the leaders of Kerala Congress and Muslim League made it clear to the governor that they would not join or support any ministry that might be formed or sponsored by the communists. The two major parties, Kerala Congress and Muslim League, said they would neither support nor join the communist government. Therefore, they could not work with the support of these two. So far as the Congress was concerned, its attitude was that it would act as a constitutional opposition to whatever government might be formed, supporting it only to the extent that its policies were in line with those of the Congress but not otherwise. Therefore, that a ministry could not expect support from the Congress party. Thus, what happened was that except for the SSP, which was not opposed to a ministry formed as sponsored by the communists, the other parties were clear that they would neither lend their support to nor seek the support of the party in forming a government. In these circumstances, the governor found no possibility of the Communist Party commanding a working majority, even if those of their members who were under detention were allowed to function. They then also accept the SSP. There was nobody else to support them. The governor did not therefore call upon the leader of that party to form a government. The governor also explored other possibilities. The decision of the Congress party was not to join with any other party. Otherwise, Kerala Congress and Congress combined might have had 59 plus some others if they could. In view of the decision of the Congress party not to join with any other party to form a government and the combined strength of the Kerala Congress, Muslim League, etc., being only 36, the governor came to the conclusion that there was no possibility also of any other party being able to form a combination with other parties and being able to form a ministry. The attitude of the Congress was that once having gone to the electorate and the electorate having given a decision that they were not to elect them in a majority, they did not want to form a ministry with any other party but would rather like to act as a constitutional opposition. That was the stand taken. Therefore, there was no likelihood of any combination by any method whatsoever to have any party which could have a working majority. Accordingly, in his report dated March 8, 2005, the governor stated that it was not possible for a representative government to come into existence as a result of the elections to the state assembly and recommended to the president to issue a proclamation under Article 356 of the Constitution. After a careful consideration of all the facts, it was decided that the Vice President discharging the functioning of the President should be advised to revoke the proclamation dated September 10, 2004 and issue a fresh proclamation assuming to the President all functions of the Government of Kerala and all powers vested in or exercisable by the Governor of the state. Accordingly, the proclamation was issued on the 24th March 2005 and a copy of this proclamation was laid on the table of the House. Next para. Madam, the unemployment question is very vital question in the country, and though the government has been telling us what steps and measures are being taken, yet unemployment is increasing year after year in the rural areas. Unemployment and underemployment both are there. In the urban areas, those who get only some education do not get any employment, but in the rural area this is a chronic disease. I am stressing on the agricultural labor while giving his views on some of the points in the general discussion on the budget. Our esteemed friend Shri Khandubhai Desai stressed upon agricultural labor. It is a very chronic problem. Agricultural labor form a very vital part of our rural population. They have no land, and those who have land employed the labor to their advantage. Agricultural labor is such that for employment it always depend upon other people. When the laborers get some employment on big farms, they get some job for their livelihood, but for all the year they are not getting employment, though the government is proclaiming too many land reforms and sealing and so many things has been introduced, but everywhere you find a large number of village population. They have to run from place to place. Some honorable members complained that they are coming to town and cities to create problems. If they do not come to towns, where they go? Unless they are employed, unless they are economically settled, they have to find some employment somewhere for themselves, so they are running from place to place. I know about my own state. From my neighboring state, people are running there. Some get employment as tea garden labor, some in road work, some as rickshaw puller. Their people are running from place to place, but proper employment is not there. If this chronic disease is not manfully taken care of by the government, boldly taken care of by the government, if concrete schemes are not put up and if people are not employed in them, we cannot boast of our democracy. We cannot say that we are doing so many things for creating employment. You know that there is the question of rural electrification, but what is being done here? Our minister was telling about 45 pilot projects that are there, but what are they for this vast country? What can be done by these projects? The planning commission is doing many things. There are many plans, but how far are they being achieved? How far are they being implemented? How far has unemployment problem been solved? These are to be seen. 45 projects will not do to serve the vast population of this country. It is a gigantic problem. So my submission is, unless you take concrete steps and devise concrete scheme to develop industries in the rural area, things will not improve. Madam, you were pleased to intimate in this connection that the Khadi and Village Industry Board is doing something, but what do? They have asked the states to survey the areas and find out the industry that can be taken up. I know about my own state. There also the Khadi and Village Industry Commission have taken up small industries, but it is not enough. It is a drop in the ocean. They select a few industries, but there are potentialities and there is scope for developing small industries, village industries in the rural areas, but sufficient attention is not given by the government to solve that problem. That is my humble opinion. Unless the government has taken concrete measure to solve this acute problem, no people in the rural areas can always remain asking government or those who have ways and means to give them employment. This cannot do so. Small industries, village industries should be surveyed, organized, and developed. This problem cannot be neglected any further. Our late Prime Minister was telling us that unless you develop cottage and small scale industries and generate power in the rural area, this acute problem cannot be solved. I know about the intention of the government. The minister was telling that the planning commission have schemes and also a committee, but what efforts have been made, we must know the result. Though there are schemes and plans, implementation is not there. People are not getting the benefits. There are many agricultural products which can be organized and developed as small industries. There is food processing from earth. You can get other things. Good industry is there. There are hundred of things you can do. In the British times, we made a survey of some areas and we saw that there were many potential things in the villages. The villagers also know this. They are able-bodied men, but because they are not properly organized or given employment, they are nowhere. So many requests to the government is this, the pilot scheme, etc. will not do. What we want from the government is that they should face the problem with boldness and courage. Stop.